as the quietus says, there's intensity, and then there's Lord Spikeheart. He plays one of the more visceral, extreme, brutal live acts I've ever seen, and now he's on his own. Welcome to the RPS studio, Martin Kanja, aka Lord Spikeheart.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Yeah.
First of all, congratulations for your debut album, your debut solo album.
Thank you.
The Adept.
Yeah.
I've been really enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I think that people worldwide are pretty enjoying it too.
Yeah.
I've read quite a few good reviews of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let me explain me this, because you say that it's a very loving, positive, and uplifting record. And I mean, I really like it. I enjoy this kind of music.
Yeah.
And for me, it's dark, terrifying, it's aggressive. Sounds like the soundtrack for Doomsday.
Apocalypse. Yeah, it does. But actually, that's like the contrast in the music I make, because you find that the main themes and the messages I have in the music are very positive messages for uplifting people. These messages about overcoming oppression, being self-actualized, being happy. Also, a lot of spirituality in it. Tapping into your own potential and achieving all of your goals and being successful and everything like that. So it's like normally in our culture in Africa where I come from, normally you find that some of the most medicinal plants, they look very hardcore, like they have spikes and they have a lot of thorns, but they're very medicinal in quality. So it kind of translated in my music because it has this dark and heavy exterior, but it's very soft inside and very loving and very kind and also very welcoming, also at the shows, it's the same energy, it's all love, completely, transcendent and very inclusive, yeah. Yeah.
In this album, The Adept, there's extreme metal, death metal growls, trap beats, gabber drums, industrial noises, guitar shreds.
Yeah.
How do you manage to mix all of this in just one album?
Oh wow, yeah. I would say it's my vision as an artist, because I listen to a lot of music and also I'm always willing to push it to the next level. And this album was mostly dedicated to my great-grandmother who was involved in the struggle for independence in Kenya, Field Marshal Muthoni, during the Mau Mau British occupation in the 50s and the 60s. So, they looked very hardcore when they were doing this, the fighting and all that to get the independence, but they were very loving people, very caring for the country and the community. So for me, having that kind of concept, and also I listen to a lot of all these sorts genres. I listen to a lot of trance, trap. I listen to a lot of metal at the same time, electronic music. It's just kind of bleeds into the music I make because I'm always trying to absorb influences and regurgitate them into my music. Something I really like it's sick. I can even see how it will be at the shows. It just kind of just happens to come into the music I make because I'm always surrounded by different producers and I always getting out of my comfort zone to what I'm used to doing, and also so I can keep growing and keep evolving. So yeah, it's totally simple for me and very natural for me and organic to have all these different sounds and influences in my music to make this other genre that's not really there out there yet. But yeah, it's the familiar and unfamiliar at the same time. Yeah.
Tell us about your great-grandmother. She sounds like a remarkable woman.
She was.
Did you get to meet her? Or?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, when I was smaller, yeah. But when I grew up a bit, I kind of got into all this touring and stuff. Yeah, so I did. Yeah.
But tell us about her. So, as you mentioned, she was the only female field marshal in the Mau Mau movement.
Yes.
Yeah, how did that happen? I mean, just...
Yeah, actually it was because she grew up working on this British settler farm. They were picking pyrethrum, and she saw how people were being mistreated and people were being oppressed and they were being tortured and treated like animals. And for her, that was not like that when they were growing up. They used to play everywhere in the fields. Everywhere was just open. Now they had to follow these rules, and their life completely turned upside down. So, and one day she protested something that had happened on the farm against the people who were running it, and she was almost beaten to death. So that's when she decided, I'm just gonna just leave all this and try to figure out a solution to liberate our people. So that's when she decided to get into the Mau Mau and to help them. And in the beginning, she was just only helping with the information, getting information for the Mau Mau, where they can they'll be safe. Also, how they will conduct the strategies and everything. Because she was very good at strategies, and protocol. And also he would like also help deliver food to them in the forest. So they would collect food with the women, and then they would leave them in some parts of the forest. So that began very early in her life, because she just decided, like, she became like that after she was almost killed when she was being beaten. She was very young. She decided, like, she can't allow this to happen anymore, because it was her land and it was her people, and it didn't make any sense that this kind of evil is there and like people are really suffering and everything. So for her, it only made sense because nobody was actually doing it at the time. They were all obeying and, like, falling into line. But she found that already the Mamau had come together, and there were this group of people who wanted to break that and to bring the attention to how wrong it is and the atrocities that were happening and all these people who are dying at the same time. So that really inspired her to, like, be involved with it. And she gave up all her life to it. And yeah, till she was old, in the 90s. So yeah.
I've read that sadly she passed away pretty recently.
Yeah.
Did she ever get to listen to your music?
Oh yeah. No, not really. Not really. But yeah, because these last few years of her life, I really wanted to go to visit her. Actually, we were talking with my wife. We were supposed actually to do like this family portrait with her next to me. Like it would be the album artwork. Like, but we got so busy. Also, COVID happened, and like I didn't go back to Kenya for a couple of years because we were always on the road and touring the US, touring the European side and festivals and stuff. So I didn't really get to see her towards this other end of her life, because that's when my music took off and everything. But yeah, I would love if she will listen to it. Yeah.
And I've read that your mother runs a church.
Yes.
How does she cope with the fact that the kind of music you make, it's usually associated with the evil, with Satan?
Yeah.
How do you cope with that?
Oh yeah, she knows me, and like she understands me because she has been with me throughout this journey, even before I started doing music. And she always advised me, because she was telling me like I have all these special gifts and I'm very creative and I'm very imaginative at the same time. She always told me like I should not work like a normal person. I should do ministry for God. So like I told her like my way of doing that is through music and through shows and performing and making albums and shooting videos and films. So she always encouraged me to do what I feel in my heart is my life's purpose to achieve. And she told me like all these things are not mine; they're God-given gifts, and like I should utilize them on earth, and to also like inspire other people around the world to be like me. So for her, it's totally cool, and like she understands, because I'm not like insulting the establishment or anything. It's just like really mostly psychological, spiritual things I talk about, and about wealth and success, and like self-actualization and self-realization and manifestation of dreams, and more potential, tapping into your potential and everything. So it's very positive things I talk about, and how the human can realize their gifts and their place in the world and follow their purpose and meaning. So for her, it's all good as long as I'm happy. Also, I'm not in any trouble, and I'm traveling a lot. So like I was always the first person in my family to go different places and everything. So she's a big supporter of mine. And my sister and my bro always send her pictures and videos, and she can't believe it. Like it's just wow, this the last born kid doing all this. So yeah, she's very happy about it. Yeah. Yeah.
Going back to the Adept, despite having worked with Nyege Nyege or Hakuna Kulala, with Duma or with other projects that are true African experimental club, more oriented labels, I feel that your music you made before, it wasn't as club friendly as this the Adept.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, like the meaning that the former work released before.
Yeah, your former work.
Okay.
It wasn't as club oriented, despite that. Those labels were more
okay.
club oriented. No?
Yeah. Because with the Adept, we really wanted to push ourselves and really go beyond what we were used to working with, and also curate all this process of curation. We did together in the label to find all these artists who are really representing in their niche markets and their niche industries. So for us, it was really assembling this crew of really forward-thinking musicians who are really pushing their art where they are working at. And it was cool because it was a whole collaborative, effort, and it went way far. Not just the music itself, because the engineers, also James Ginsberg from Empty Set, really came through with the mixing and mastering. It's surgical on the textures and the tones. Really went a long way to deliver the music properly. And also, we stayed in studio for months and weeks, and it was actually a process that happened really nicely, organically, because the album was finished like last year in April, but there was a problem because one of the producers I had on the album like took my songs and like put them in another record. I didn't want it to be there, so we had like now like to go back to scratch and make the album again. Like, it took 3 months to do that.
Wow.
Yeah, and like hitting up all our people, they were so happy to be involved. They were like, yo, they've been fans of mine already, and like they were so like just happy to be involved and get on board and like, you know, just like see this other new direction they will take also themselves. And like it was very organic, and I reached out to a couple of people. Like it was so quick, and like I already knew what we wanted to get, and like I always make my music in mind about the live performances and the live shows. So I always keep that aspect in like in front of my mind, because I'm going to tour and perform these songs like in different countries, so I have to really like this music because I'm going to play it every night. So I can't like, you know, play something I don't dig. So yeah, so it was totally awesome, like joyful. Yeah, love how it went.
You had to make. Did you remake the album the same, or did you kind of like change when you?
Yeah, it changed completely.
Right.
Completely. Yeah, because there was this. It was kind of similar to what I've been doing in the past. Those songs that are not now there, like the producer he was trying to put them on his album, and then we just had to stop everything from happening, and we scrapped all that. So now it went even more deeper. Now it went another level, and I'm very happy actually that happened.
Was it released? It was like, is it the Drunken Love?
No.
No.
Yeah, that's also another issue. That's another whole other drama there. But this was just we were recording at the time in mind for this album, but the guy kind of like got swayed by another label. They wanted like so he took those songs. But I told him, yo, if it's not our agreement, so I'm not gonna do it like that. And so I had to remove those songs, and also had to now get back to the drawing board and make everything now like, you know, with a new fresh outfit. And actually I'm so happy that happened, because without that I wouldn't have really, you know, opened up this other, you know, light ceiling like I did. And like I'm so happy like it's all worked out like that for real. Like
and there's a massive amount of collaborators
for sure.
in
it's
the
like
album.
a movie.
I really like how you call it, like the Bash and his Red universe, no? The Bass and his Red universe. Like we have Brodinsky, Backwash,
sure.
Fatboy Sharif, Ruli Shalva from Senjawa, Silent GBBB. I mean,
Awesome. Yeah, Lord.
Did you know all of these people before?
Some of them I already knew them before, and somebody like Backwash we already met at Roadburn Festival. Already we had been talking about making music together. Yeah, somebody like Brodinsky, I'll see me working with Slickback and other friends of mine. I really like loved his style, you know. And Fatboy Sharif, I found about him later, like from my wife, because she's always getting new music and like listening to what's happening. And like we found Fatboy Sharif, like it's really like, you know, pushing that experimental raps like from New York, and like wow, it's just like clicked immediately like to work with him, you know. And like Saonji was the way out there, like he was like way crazy on the beats, like we just there was no like no limit to what he could do. Like I was so amazed, like he just kept sending me music, and like it was just getting more and more like crazy for me. Like I really loved like how he would like just get an idea and then like really translate it into some sonic, you know, landscape kind of thing. And so awesome to do that.
Have you ever got a beat too crazy to use, or will you?
I know. For me, actually, that's the point. Like, I want to see like how far we can go with this.
The thing that unites it all, well, many things, but one thing is your voice. And I was reading that when you started off, you had to learn how to sort of scream, and because you didn't have instruments, so your voice. How do you teach yourself that? Do you just, I mean.
Yeah, I actually it was like I really wanted to be in a rock band, or like to do a band, you know, and I didn't have any instruments, so I just like researching a lot about death growls and like, you know, Wikipedia. I was very young, YouTube and everything. I would also like follow these vocalists who are doing it properly and everything, but it was a bit hard because I was using my vocals, and you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to use your stomach and like, you know, just like drive it like, you know, just extreme falsetto kind of thing. And like I would really like, even lose my voice like for 2 days after the first show, way back in the beginning, like 2011 or something like. So yeah, but at some point you just do it a lot, and then it just becomes like muscle memory now, like just easy now. Yeah, but it took some time, a lot of work.
Do you have to practice other than shows? Like if you've not done a show for a while, do you have to go and like?
Yeah, I would say I do not really like practice, but for me it's like normal day life, because I'm always in studio every day, so I always have like to growl some point to record something, like try something. So Yeah, I do. I like, yeah. I'm always in studio, so I'm always growling. Yeah, I do.
When was the first time you realized that metal was a thing and it was kind of music made for you and you like it?
Oh my God, that was just like after I left high school because I was listening to rock and roll when I was in high school. So, but there's always a point you reach, you want something harder, something like it just kind of attracts you more. And I saw like, wow, this is insane. Like I couldn't believe it. Like I saw this particular show. It used to play in Nairobi, this radio station called XFM. This show every Thursday when I was back then, it was called XFM, Metal to Midnight. So they would play metal every Thursday from 10 o'clock to midnight. And like I found this band called Suicide Silence there, and I couldn't believe like this is one person because he could growl and he could scream at the same time. And then the show was like, because my mom was in church and she would take me to these crusades. This like pastor, prophet guy talking on stage, like people were in the crowd. So like I saw that happening live. I was like, wow, it was crazy. Mosh pit, the energy, like the dust in the air, like back flips, like with motorcycles, like it was so cool. Like I couldn't believe it. It just drew me so much because of the energy. It was so positive. I felt like you couldn't have any negative thoughts in that situation. You just let go and like you're in the present moment, like meditating. And like, that's how like I really loved it because of that. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I think it's incredible because people, when talking about music from Kenya or even from Africa, they think of Afrobeat, Afro jazz, even reggae. But metal is a genre that people have in mind when talking about the continent. Yeah. Is there a scene in Kenya?
Yeah, there's a scene. It's been there for a long time, actually. Even way before I was born, because some bands from Zambia used to come and record, because Nairobi is the only place they had like proper studios. So bands from Zambia will come to record in Nairobi in the 80s. And I found during this 2000 millennium new metal time, like Linkin Park was blowing up and Korn and all these bands, like, people were already forming bands in Kenya already. There were already bands like Last Year's Tragedy. There was Murphy's Flow already working. There was Point of Vertigo. There was all this. The scene was already there before, because Kenya is mostly into exposure, and people want to see what's happening in the world and like kind of translate into the local culture and stuff. So when I came out of high school, I already found there were already shows happening and gigs, and like there was this scene and people would meet in this community, and like every month there were shows, every week there were shows, and like I just kind of it was very encouraging for me to see that happening. Like there are real life bands and like vocalists and everything set up, and like that's really like drew me to it, and like kind of helped me do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel that it's not only a Kenyan scene, it's an African
it's a whole
thing.
African thing, for sure. It's everywhere. It's a very big scene in South Africa, and also in North Africa, also in Botswana. It's a whole culture. Like these bands in Botswana, like for example, Overthrust, when they played, Overthrust is a death metal band from Botswana. When they played in Wacken in Germany, they came back to Botswana, and the Prime Minister and the government took them from the airport. Like some national heroes or something like. It's cool because also they find that it's like an export for the country, and like also it draws people's attention to the country, like for other things like tourism, and it's a safe space. So and these scenes are very serious, and people are dedicated to them. Like it's not a joke. It's like it's real life, like it's total like culture. It's not cute. It's very like serious and like.
That's awesome. And talking about Overthirst, in fact, Vulture Thirst.
Yeah, Vulture Thirst is on the album. Yeah, for sure.
The album.
Yeah, that's my G. He's been my friend for a long time. Shumarello. Yeah, they organized this festival in Ganzi in Botswana called Wintermania Festival. And then they call all these bands from South Africa, from West Africa, from Angola, North Africa, and they come and play there from all over Africa, and like even actually big bands have toured also Africa, like Rammstein, like Iron Maiden, they've come there, down there also. Parkway Drive. So it's just gonna keep on growing. It's gonna keep getting bigger.
You founded your own record label to support all this extreme music coming from the continent, right? High Caliber Records. Why did you decide to begin your own label with your debut solo?
Yeah, for sure. Because it's something I had wanted to do for a long time, and I actually tried it before, like for a couple of years before, and I had failed because I didn't really have the information and the knowledge I did. Like now, like I do right now, and now I have more resources, I have more contacts and more networks. So also, like for me, it's very important for you to have, for us to have this control of our own material and our music and our art, because you find that most people in the continent, they don't know this like side of the business. They're just mostly recording and jamming. And they're very good musicians, but there's this other business side of the whole thing that you need to know, and you need to know how to organize, the vinyl pressing, the distribution, marketing, publishing, all these things, touring. So this information, this knowledge is not available like that there, and most guys are still doing DIY like that. So for us to have this kind of company involved is very important, because it provides the infrastructure and the system to facilitate these artists to reach their markets that they're really on demand for. And since it's not really organized like that, and it needs to be, since every other industry is like that, and they're professionals, so it just makes more sense to have this entity that protects them and also give them information and a blueprint they can also use in other countries to use if they want to venture into this business, and also to protect them and to give them the information and the resources and the tools to be able to deliver the art to where it's needed. So that's very important, I think. And that's one thing I was struggling a lot back in Kenya when I was doing this music, because there's no machine backing me, and it was totally blind. But having someone with experience and having all these professional producers involved to mix and master things, and these collaborative guys for artistry and the artworks and graphics, it's very important. And also vinyl pressing, distribution, also touring for their music. So Hekalu is there to have this system there for them, and also so it makes it more sustainable, and encourages people, and also to do this thing, also inspires them, it's possible to make it work, and it can last for a long time. Yeah.
This lack of industrial structure. It was the reason you moved to Uganda, to Kampala?
Yeah, actually, because I'd been in Kenya for a very long time, and the clubs in there wasn't as serious as in Kampala, because Kampala was more, there were more parties, there were more clubs, but in Kenya it's more conservative a bit. So that happened because also I had started making electronic music, heavy metal, already in Kenya. And I found it needed a club space and an outlet for it. So that's actually why I moved also to Kampala at the time, because I'd been trying for a long time to do this in Kenya, but it was not really taking off. So having the right environment is very important to just to let it go, and to see how it flows. Yeah, for sure.
You mentioned Overthrust getting recognised by the government in Botswana.
Yeah.
You've done a massive job promoting, your music is it's really big, kind of promoting Kenyan culture. Have you had any kind of similar recognition from
not yet really, but I would love to be involved in that, like a youth ambassador or something, for because I'm very I travel way more even than the government. So that would be cool. Maybe. Yeah, for sure. Because even they are friends with my family already. They even did my grandma's they got a state funeral. So I think maybe in the future that's something in the works we could be very down to do. Yeah,
it's
for
close.
Sure.
It's close.
It's very close. Yeah.
What do you feel more comfortable, in the club or in the mosh?
Everywhere. Yeah, I do. I feel it everywhere, because for me it's feeding. For me it's how you eat food. For me it's I feel comfortable in all those settings, because my music is so broad. It can fit in art spaces, can fit in festivals, can fit in clubs. So for me, all of them are the same scenery. That's even how I visualize it, and I just feel so at home. As long as the music is loud, and we do it.
So there's any extreme band to follow closely from Africa?
A couple. Yeah, actually, yeah.
Can you name them?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, of course. Overthrust, of course. Yeah. Also, these guys from Mozambique, Nobomide, MD. Yeah, they're so heavy. They're seriously heavy. Also, I follow my homebros, Last Year's Tragedy. They're from Kenya, Nairobi. Yeah, they're doing good stuff. Also, they also, I think, playing South Africa soon. Irony Destroyed, also from Nairobi. Also, I follow them a lot. I also follow Middle Ground from South Africa. I also follow Peasant from South Africa also. Yeah, they're very sick too. Yeah, I also follow Scarab from Egypt. Yeah, they're awesome. And guys like Eternal Catastrophe from Angola also. They're very cool. They're very heavy, very heavy. Also this experimental black and atmospheric death ambient artist from Ethiopia called Nishayar. Yeah, it's very cool stuff they do there. Okay, also, yeah. And some bands I used to follow, but now I'm not really following them, because I think there's some of them split. This band, they used to do deathcore from South Africa. They were called Bringing a Shark to a Gunfight. Yeah, they were very serious. We were serious mosh pits everywhere. Yeah, Crow Black Sky are also cool. Yeah, also this black metal band from Soweto called Demogothroth Satanam. Yeah, they're very heavy also, very sick. Yeah, that's the name of you. For sure.
I have a question, and this might be me overthinking things, but I'm going to try anyway. Sure. So you mentioned the connection to your mum and the church. You mentioned, you know, the energy you kind of got from a pastor, I think. Yeah. In your name, you're named Lord Spikeheart. Is there any connection there? Like, is making a connection using the word Lord?
Yeah, it is because for me, it's like this name they give to, you know, gods on earth. Like even in Hinduism, like Lord Rama, Lord Krishna. Yeah, for me now, like I'm in this other spectrum of like dark, heavy universe music, and like also, you know, I used to read the Bible with my brother when I was small, back to back. So I really love the Book of Revelation, and like it's so graphic and like it's so intense, that book. So and the Lord is mentioned so many times in the Bible. So for me, like, yeah, also not really like in the true context of religion, but like mostly it's an empowering name, and it just stuck with me because. The scene back in Kenya, the band bros, we used to say we have to do the Lord's work. You know, we have to do this metal, and we have to like keep recording and jamming, and doing shows. So it was the Lord's work. So that's how I got the name to Lord Spikeheart, because I just love this music so much. I love everything with it. I love touring. I love making it, and like, so for me, it's my life. I give it to, you know, this art, and for sure.
Mark, you finished your European tour at the end of May.
Yeah.
Will there be more The Adept Live?
Yeah. There will be more Adept Live. We are now organizing more shows. Actually, more of us are also coming in right now. So we'll be checking out. We'll be also here in the fall. We're also doing a few festivals also in August also. So we're seeing if we can enter the UK too, do like a UK round, like trip also. Also Australia, we might hit up Australia also. And I'm just gonna keep cranking it out. But I'm already recording the second album already. So
right.
Yes. So I just never stop. But I'll still be playing as much as possible.
Will this be the second Hekelo Records release, or will there be any more thing?
Yeah, we are still we're still keeping that under wraps tight, because we are very particular and like selective, and we take our time like to engineer everything. So we are still we are still broadening our options and still working on this at the same time. So we might release another artist, or it might be this one, the second one. So we just we'll see. Maybe.
So Martin, thank you for coming here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for the Adept, and
thank you.
And now for the first time on our stream.
Awesome.
A live act, Lord Spikeheart.
Thank you so much. Yes. Ciao. Thank you.